Hey everybody, long time no see. Standing here on the bridge that goes over the such and such river. I don't remember which one this is. Here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, per usual. It's a pretty nice day today. It's Christmas Eve, about 44 degrees. Just got out of the gym and thought I'd take a little walk, kind of update you on what's been going on, talk a little bit about the league, at least what's been remaining since the end of the season. Oh, man, it's been a while. Maybe even a month at this point. I'd been planning on making other videos. The problem is the weather had gotten so terrible, couldn't go outside. We hit a major cold snap for a long period of time. Couldn't get outside. The best I could do for exercise, because even though I went to the gym today and yesterday, I don't like going to the gym. I'd rather go outside, do stuff, play some sports. Couldn't do that at all. So I was left with going to the mall and doing the old mall walking routine, which is fine, but don't work up much of a sweat. So I'm going to take advantage of today. I'm definitely on my Christmas break now from school. I'll be going to my other job tonight, which is great. Earn a little extra money to fill in the gap. Got a student I'm going to be doing some Zooming with, cover some particulars in math. I've been giving her some trouble. Happy to do so. Look at that tree. Interesting old tree there. Man, it's one of those times of year when you get the sludge in the throat. Feel kind of bogged down. Nature's going wild because of the wild changes in the weather and temperature. I'm feeling it too. So I'll probably be clearing my throat quite a bit. Drank some water a little bit before coming out here and hasn't quite kicked in yet. Yeah, excuse me. All right, so what's been going on? Well, I believe the last time I spoke with you, I talked about the extension of the CBA talks, how they had a deadline, and they said, well, forget about the deadline, let's extend it another month. And that came and went, and they said, well, let's keep talking until the beginning of the year. Let's just even it out. No big surprise there. Any moving around on either side? Nope. Still as stubborn as ever. Both sides are doing their best to completely destroy the experience for us, the fans. And if you listen to the players, at least the more vocal ones, they're not moving at all. They feel determined to get exactly what they want. And I'm still left with wondering what their leverage is. What's their, what is it that we're really going to lose if they do not give in, if they don't learn to, I guess, I'm going to use the word collaborate a bit. I know it's not the right word to use, but in a sense, I kind of think that's the case, because I think both sides really need to take stock of what they have and what their actual value is in the big picture. Because I think both sides just don't get it. And to the fans, and I've talked about this before, so I'll be repeating myself here a little bit, but to the fans like myself who came in, 4 seasons ago, possibly. I was the season before Caitlin. Many came in during Caitlin for good reason. And I'll talk a little more about this and the effect of that in a bit. But for those of us who are still relatively new or new-ish, we've taken some time to get to know the players and the league, the teams, the style of play, and gauge it against what we're used to in the men's side of the fence. I've accepted it. I enjoy it. I have watched maybe 5 minutes of an NBA game this current season. I don't see that changing at all. I'm just not interested. I like the girls. I want them to do well. But like any good pretend father in this sense, you got to give them good advice. And I think in this case, I'm going to remain to my view that of the two sides, though they're doing their best to ruin everything, I think it's the players who need to step back a bit, take some inventory, and take what they can get. It's cute. Very cute. Because the way it sounds, the players are a little too happy at the notion of going on strike. And I remember the years when the NFL had gone on strike and they had the replacement players, and they could get away with it because they had enough money to have these secondary players, these no-namers, come in and play. Baseball, I seem to remember a strike when I was a kid. I don't think they played at all. I don't remember. Hey, look at that. I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. There's an opossum over there. It's kind of hanging around. It's looking right at me. I don't know what he's looking at. Looks kind of young. Very cute. I don't want to spook it, so I'm going to try to get moving here the other way. That's nice. I like seeing that. Anyways, we've had leagues who've gone on strike before, and they've come out of it okay. I'm just not convinced the WNBA can really survive that, especially during a time when there are competing organizations trying to come in and cash in on the current momentum. And what it seems to me, and this is the big thing, which will trail me off in the next thing I'm going to talk about, is when you have momentum like that, and it comes from, let's say, the excitement around a transcendent player that is changing your league. What do you do with it? Do you go all in? Or do you do what the WNBA did and let all the old heads start criticizing this particular player, saying that, wait, we were here first. Where's the excitement around us? Well, you have to generate it. You don't just get it. Sorry. Beyond the aficionados with basketball, particularly women's basketball, the vast majority of Americans didn't care much for Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi. They knew of Candace Parker. They knew of Lisa Leslie. I did. A lot of weird noises around here. I don't know if you caught that, but wow. Anyways, we knew of the players, but they weren't transcendent, culturally speaking. They were still pretty niche. But I think Caitlyn was that spark, that falling star to hit the league, to shine a light where there probably wasn't. And I will still hold to the idea that those other players, no matter how long they had been there, they should embrace that. Because if they truly care about the league and its future and the trajectory that has been set by a Caitlin Clark, and to a lesser degree Paige, they should be happy to have her there and not criticize her for her race, her background, her behavior, her perceived attitude. This is frankly not fair. And it gets me to my next thought. After the Aces had won the championship, Asia had been doing a lot of interviews, social media talking and stuff. And she plays right into that sort of woe is me sort of role where if you even bring up Caitlyn around her, she may be able to eke out a little bit of credit here and there, but ultimately she views her as a threat. And it's astounding to me. Because if A'ja Wilson is your 2025 Time Magazine Female Athlete of the Year, I would like to know, would that have happened if it weren't for Caitlyn? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think the momentum from her showing up and shining a light on the league gave everybody a better chance at seeing how good A'ja actually is. Well, on the one hand, I do agree that we have not done a good job at paying attention to the WNBA. It's not because of us. I think it's just not that great of a product versus what the mainstream seems to be showing us. It would be foolish to think that the NBA is somehow equal to the WNBA. It's not. It pulls in great numbers every year, even with crappy championship series. Still pull a lot of attention. From the other point of view, I think it's foolish to think that the WNBA is equal to the NBA. It doesn't pull in. It never has. It's never made money. According to Wilson, who, again, like the other old heads, say that, hey, we were here first. I care about the history of the league, which is a veiled attempt at saying, I don't care about Caitlyn or what she's doing for the league, for all of us. The tide that raises all ships, I don't care. I know the history of the league. Well, if that's true, if she does know the history, she would have to know how much of a losing financial organization it actually is. I'm going to pause here for a second because there's a squirrel. This looks like it's just eating some sort of a nut. Getting ready for the colder weather coming in. Oh, there's one over there. In this area, we have usually just the brownish squirrels, but we also have the gray and the black furred squirrels. Kind of cute. They all act the same way, as far as I can tell. Yeah, this park is overrun with them everywhere. There's a gray over there. Kind of hard to see. I keep moving around. There's another one. Black fur. It's getting along. There's our dead golf course over here. Anyways, back to the WNBA. I think everyone, even those who aren't fans, those who are not trying to be fans, would know that it's just not a profitable league. It's been surviving on the NBA's basically charity up through this point. And I say that as a matter of fact, not as a slam or a strong criticism. It's just the truth. And I'd like that to change. Because as I've said, there's more than enough evidence of this. I care more about the WNBA than I do the NBA. I would rather the ladies have what the NBA has. But it's just not going to happen. And especially not going to happen if we get great players in the league who are immediately criticized for what they are, not who they are. And for a league that touts social justice and certain types of reform and grand picture sort of topics and such, to be so open and willing to criticize and slam someone for the color of their skin is very telling. It's a unique way of destroying yourself from within, because the fans are not dumb. The people who are watching are not dumb. The same fans who are tired of seeing platitudes on football fields and on basketball jerseys and movements left and right. They're not going to put up with that for very long. They're sharp enough to notice these things. And if you exist purely to change the world, to be a beacon of hope in a dark, dark society, then you've basically forgotten all about sports and why we love sports. One reason why I repeat myself so often is because this comes up all the time. Think about it for yourself. How do you view sports? As a platform for social awareness, or as a way to escape? You work all week, come home, watch a game. Hey, had a hard Monday? Monday Night Football. Had a tough week? College football on Saturdays. That's what it's there for. A lot of money being made there. But for us as fans, simple fans, it's an escape. And we don't want to dive headlong into other people's view of society. This is not what it's there for. When you have players doing that, all right, well, you may as well put a target on your back. We went through that with Colin Kaepernick, as I've mentioned before. But if you are the athlete of the year, it's because of your hard work, because of what you've done on the field, the court, the diamond, wherever, the track. Be humble enough to keep it there. Keep the story there. As soon as you get up there on your platform and you go and you start trying to change the world and playing little Mr. or little Miss President, that's when people turn off. And it's a shame. It's self-destruction. Asia Wilson, in my view, is one of the greatest players of all time. In the short time that I've been watching this game, she has impressed me all the time. And I've said before, I like her quite a bit, provided she's playing basketball. If all she's doing is trying to change people's minds about how we, as fans, view the game and the league, if that's what she's doing, I'm not going to buy into it. And it ruins my view of her. It really does. And this is not a time to be doing that. She's a figurehead for the league. Same with Nafisa. And I love Nafisa, but man, after they got their butts kicked, got knocked out of the playoffs they should have won, and she has that little conference where she slams the league and slams this person. This is, you know what? I like you a little less. Sorry. I don't want to go all Ann Coulter and say shut up and dribble, but I get the sentiment. I want to enjoy you as athletes. I mean, that's the point, right? For years and years and years, you've played second fiddle to the men, trying to tell us, hey, we're just as good. We're just as watchable. We're just as entertaining and enjoyable and worth our time and our money and our devotion. And here I am, trying to do that. I am, 20 episodes in or so of this stuff. Myself and my view of the league, what it's done for me, the way I think about it, the way it's changed my view on women's sports in general. to go out there and take advantage of that and make some, either internal or external political sort of move, it just kills the excitement. I don't follow professional hockey that closely. I've got a team that I'll get updates on, and I like that. But the nice thing about the NHL is they're, relatively speaking, politics free. It's almost as if the players care about the sport that they play beyond the money. But of course, the league is filled with, a very diverse collection of people. Russians, Ukrainians, people from all over the world. It's not just, United States and Canada mainly. It's international. Brought together by a love of a sport. I don't get that from the WNBA. Who loves playing in the WNBA? Who loves their game? I sense a lot of passion from Caitlin. I really do. Excuse me. I just don't sense a lot of passion from other players. I think the passion is secondary to their desire to just be paid, to make a brand, to become pseudo-celebrities, to be socially active, to create a platform, and use that platform to, again, make more money. Very few social movements don't come with a massive paycheck. I find it hard, on December 23rd, 2025, to be as excited for the upcoming WNBA season as I was October 23rd, September 23rd, August 23rd. Going back, every month that we go into the CBA nonsense, I lose interest. And if I'm going to lose interest, as someone who's taken time out to make these walks and talks videos about that league and my environment, I can only imagine how it feels to people who are not like that, who at best are very casual. I don't know. I think they have... And usually this is something you aim at the commissioner, the league executives, the owners, the administration across the board. No, this is player driven. I can't even say that about the NBA, which typically is a very player focused league. The WNBA, there's something wrong there. And I don't think it helps when your own players are unwilling to compromise. They've got their little shirts, pay us what you owe us, pay us what we deserve, which is difficult to state, by the way, when you're not pulling a profit. And what money you are making, that revenue that you are generating, it's coming on the back of someone who, at least last season, was hurt. What does that tell you about your league? When your shining star, your glimmer of hope, is riding the bench, and what does it tell you when that player's number one adversary, their rival, seems more interested in being a fashionista and being a businesswoman and being a celebrity on social media than the best basketball player she could possibly be? I have given her more than enough, way more than others, more than enough room to make mistakes and learn from them and change behaviors. But you look up Angel Reese right now, all you're going to see is fashion. That's all it is. Making deals. Grabbing more money. Every single one of these ladies makes more than I do in a matter of months. And I work with children. I work with kids who are needy in the sense of they have special requirements to help them through school. A rather abnormal situation. I'm doing what I can to help kids be the better half of themselves, to become greater students, make it easier making it through school, because it's difficult. Disorder gets in the way. Adverse childhood experiences get in the way. The traumas of a difficult home life get in the way. I'm there to help smooth it out, so that maybe that next test or diagnostic assessment goes a little easier. I need to befriend as well as guide. That's my job. As I'm learning through a rather difficult master's program to be even a better person in that regard, to be able to diagnose problems so that I can provide accommodations to these kids. And then when I become that, I still won't be making as much as they do right now. And they're playing basketball. Think about the guys. You know, multi-million-dollar deals. Please. They pull in an audience. They make money for somebody else, therefore they get money. They get a lot of money when they bring in eyes. I'm not bringing in any eyes. I'm just trying to change some lives. As are any other, special education, either maybe assistant, teacher, interventionalist, anyone within that realm. That's what we're trying to do. And I work a secondary job so I can help pay bills. So when a league, comes together and they say, look, we're going to offer you a minimum, 6-figure annual salary, on top of that bonuses, on top of that the chance to win a stupid commissioner's cup, an in-season tournament that means nothing, or one of the games that doesn't count towards your record. All it translates to is, hey, you could win a lot more money. What does that do for us, the fans? Nothing. Nothing at all. Means a lot to those players, though. You win the cup, you get paid. Hooray. Good for you. See you at the CBA talks, saying that you're not getting paid enough. These ladies, they will walk down the hallways between the entrance to the stadium and the locker room wearing better clothes than I will ever see in my life. Right now, as I walk, I'm wearing a secondhand jacket. The shoes were on sale from I don't know what you would call it, one of those discount shoe stores that you might find in a mall somewhere. Some sweats from Goodwill, and a shirt that my wife had gotten me. It's a pickleball shirt. She found it online. I thought it was cute. Bought it for me. I'm not out to turn heads. I'm not out to impress anybody with my look. Because goodness knows I don't have that. All I'm trying to do is follow a particular inclination I have by way of my job and my interests and key skills that I have. Right now, I'm not really getting paid for it. I'm not even getting any insurance. So when I keep up with the WNBA and the CBA talk, it's very hard for me to not look at the players and go, you know what? You should be happy you even have a league. You should be happy you even have any sort of national play at all. The app is fine. Some of the games are locked out. But you should be happy that anybody's watching your games at all. I've talked a lot about my time in Minnesota. I love the Target Center. I had a great experience there. And I am a fan. That's the thing. Everything I'm saying here, I'm still saying I'm a fan. I want to be. I want to remain a fan. I don't want to go back to that very pessimistic version of myself that said, oh, women's sports, women's basketball, please. Yeah, if they want to play, they can have a league of their own. I don't want to watch it. I've changed my view. I want to keep it that way. But man, as long as this junk goes on, they're going to lose people like myself. Just as they've lost that chance to get the casuals to not only come in, but stay in. It's stupid. It's pure greed. And the way they approach it, they don't even do it with a sense of humility. It's just pure, give me more money or I'm sitting out. I am so special that this world of sports cannot do without me. So I'm going to threaten to not play for this league if you don't pay me exactly what I want. Man, how much power do you have in your job to do that same thing? Well, thankfully for the ladies, they do have Unrivaled. They do have Athletes Unlimited. And now Project B. They always have the Euro Leagues. They've had plenty of ways to earn money. Suitable money. Money that, if used properly, they could live comfortably, invest, a good portion of it, and still be able to enjoy life. But do you think they're doing that? The majority of them, probably not. How many of them, here's the thing, we're talking, players aged 22 to 32. Let's just keep it around there. 22 to 32. Parents probably are still alive. Not guaranteed. Saying probably. How many of those parents are telling those players, hey, make sure you're using your money wisely. Make sure you're investing. Make sure you're not overspending on cars and clothing and jewelry and junk like that that's so in the here and now. I don't know. I don't view the basketball culture that Angel Reese has touted as being so important as necessarily all that smart. If you remember her from the All-Star game, I'm going to go back to the 2025 WNBA All-Star game and festivities in Indianapolis, Indiana, which I attended. Didn't go to the game. I opted to go to Minnesota instead for a game. But I did attend the festivities. Do you remember who the performing artist was for the All-Star game? You got to really lower your expectations here. drop your value system a bit as it concerns the music and the industry is Glorilla, that very versatile musician. Rather trashy, gutter-esque, run-of-the-mill, look at my body hip-hop artist. Well, when they asked Angel about Glorilla, Angel said, basically, and this is paraphrasing here, not a direct quote, basically that Glorilla represents what their basketball culture is all about. The fusion of hip-hop and basketball. It's like, okay, nothing wrong with hip-hop in and of itself. I tend to go back to the 90s to find the hip-hop I really enjoy, but for her, it means a lot. Because she represents a very young age group, representative group. And if you look at hip-hop nowadays, I find it to be a severely underwhelming form of music. It's not as good as it used to be. I think it's all cashing in on trends, heavily reliant on the trap sound, and whatever a producer can do. And adding, in upwards of 3 to 4 features on a single track. How many albums in hip-hop are purely from the artists themselves? Very few. They need help for some reason. But when I watch that game and I listen to that performance on Glorilla, I'm thinking, this is who you're touting as being a model of your culture? Wasn't Glorilla around that time getting in trouble for some sort of altercation at one of her mansions? Wasn't there some kerfuffle surrounding her? Oh, well, let's just have KFC or some other fast food company give her a special deal, just like McDonald's had the Angel Reese meal. I think it was KFC. There's the Glorilla box or something. If you act foolish, prance around, highlight your body over your skill, keep us thinking that you're just a celebrity, flaunting yourself, gyrating on the stage, spewing out a bunch of nonsense, self-focused, and self-concentrated lyrics. If you just do all that, you're going to be a star. And then you're going to impress people like Angel Reese, who will then say, you know what, you're just part of our culture. You are basketball culture, Glorilla. And they wonder why they have a hard time getting people to watch their sport, to buy into it. It's gross. It sucks. If you don't account for quality, you pretty much have everything you want. And that is the situation in a nutshell. If you ignore your fans, if you take a purely self-focused, self-important standpoint for the sake of your bankroll, so you can upgrade from Coach to Versace, you have a place in the WNBA. And it sucks. All I care about at the end of the day is basketball and the players who play it. How are they as people? That's nice. So I'd prefer to support those who care about the sport more than what they're wearing. Maybe that's too much to ask. It probably is. Because we're in 2025. The internet and social media and mobile technology have completely ruined everyone. Made it harder for people to use their minds. Daily addictions abound. What sells is your celebrity, not your skill. Those with skill are pushed to the side. Those who are contributing to society are now the perpetrators. Those who take from society are now the good guys, the ones worth defending. And that's how society breaks down. When you can't tell who the good people are and the bad people, or in the very least, the good people and those who need a severe realignment to their value system, when you can't tell the difference, you lose society. You break that down into little subgroups, such as professional sports leagues, then it's very apparent. Those with the biggest mouths, those with the most self-interest in a destructive manner are going to move the needle. And that's going to cause the destruction of an entire league right before our eyes. I would not be surprised if come January they still haven't decided on a good enough deal for these players, and we're not going to have a season. And frankly, it pisses me off. In fact, everything I've been talking about for the past, half hour, 40 minutes, sum it up, just pisses me off. They're throwing it away. They're throwing it away for you and everyone else who watches this league. But don't fret. Time magazine seems to think who's the greatest athlete out there. It's Asia. Well, thanks to Caitlin for that. Now, here's some good news. In case you don't watch the Professional Women's Hockey League, a league that is, from what I can tell, fairly free, if not completely free, of drama. I was able to get my hands on a Minnesota Frost hat. Yeah, I know it's not very massive news here, but the reason why I bring that up is this. It's an all-women's league. It's a sport, generally speaking, irrespective of gender, that is free of the sort of drama that just kills momentum in a league, in a sports league. The NFL has been filled with drama. So is the NBA. MLB, if you were around in 1999, you know what I'm talking about. But the PWHL, the little league that could, I got a Minnesota hat. My wife had gotten it for me as a Christmas gift. It's a nice knit with a little poof ball on the top. Has the logo embroidered on the front. It says Frost on top. Beautiful lavender color. When I wear it, I feel a certain level of happiness. I love supporting that league and that team. In fact, all the teams. If you play on that league, good for you. I support you. But I've been wearing it with my Lynx jacket. Now, when I got that jacket, I was over the moon. I saw that in the Mall of America. Wasted no time in picking that thing up. It was expensive, but it was worth it because I love the team. I wanted to bring it back here to Indiana and wear it and have people look over and go, wait a minute, Minnesota Lynx, what's that? Well, let me tell you. I could start conversations. Maybe do a little bit of advertising. I did that during the All-Star game. Wore my jersey at the pop-up event here in Fort Wayne. Only one wearing a jersey. Surrounded by Fever fans. More power to them. But I was there in full regalia. jersey, Bridget Carlton, lime green shirt, hat, my green little shoes, news crews there, flashing the Minnesota logo in front of the camera. It's awesome. But now, it's much colder here in Indiana. Wearing that jacket's become more frequent, but when I wear it, there's a little part of me that cringes. It's because I don't feel as strongly as I did before. Yeah, it's off season. I get it. But the CBA stuff is not good. It hurts. Sucks. So for the sake of everybody, for you, myself,